standing before dignitaries. Please can you look to your neighbor and tell them what you think about them on first look, and how you can make that a narrative identity. I have a few slides, and if you wouldn't mind, please follow me. On the bus yesterday on my way home, I saw a lady who was out. She had been out drinking and she was going to her house, and she was on a bus 1C. I entered the bus, I saw that she had been sleeping. She sat at the corner and she kept sleeping all through. And the bus was going towards Drum Chapel, had passed several bus stops, and she was sleeping quietly. Somewhere at the corner of my mind, I literally thought she had passed out. But then as the bus swayed, I noticed she moved her fingers, so I knew she was awake and she was alive. She was just in between sleep. And then suddenly someone stood up and said, "Oh, use the F word, and will you wake up?" And then she stood up, and then she slumped on the bus. The first thing that will come to mind is someone who is unpurposeful, who is careless, who is a drunk. However, we know little of the encounters of such an individual on a day-to-day basis. We don't even know who the person is. However, we have projected an identity. When someone meets a Nigerian, the first thing they tell you, I go online every day, oh, fraudsters, criminals, people who are lockstar in attitude. But you have an identity. You know who you are. Now, narratives are projected. Identities are owned. You can project what you think about a person on the person. Doesn't matter what you say, criminal, intelligent, beautiful. If the person does not have a sense of belonging, it doesn't become an identity. As soon as you take ownership of what is projected, it becomes a narrative identity. So I'm going to be talking about how to build a narrative identity. Because it is very crucial to understand that a narrative identity is what distinguishes you from what is projected on you. Without a sense of identity or a story built for yourself, whatever is projected upon you is what becomes your identity. Recently, I went on Threads and I saw something. The man said, "What do you think of Nigerians?" And the South African went there and said, "Oh, drug lords." Some other person went there and said, "Criminals, cyber criminals." Another person went there and said, "Oh, intelligent bunch." And then I wrote on the thread, a Nigerian is what he or she perceives herself to be. Nigerians are bold, and so it's easy to call us, people who just like to fight or are aggressive. Nigerians are innovative, and that's why we thrive in every sphere of business. However, as any community is, there are people who stand out as bad eggs amongst the few, found in every community. But a Nigerian is who he or she says he is. I'm going to be analyzing Michael Porter's five factors in identifying how you can build a narrative identity. Don't forget, I said narratives are projected, and I said identities are owned. But you can actually have a narrative identity based on your desire. There are 5 points, key factors that Michael Porter points us to. He talks about threats to entrance. Now, in threats to entrance, you'll be looking at issues like self-awareness. How am I building a sense of awareness? That's where building a personal value comes to be. That's where having your statements, it's called, so people say statements of net worth.